All right, guys, so I got this switch box here that customer wanted to add a light, so I got this wire in here. I ran this wire from my light down to the box, okay? And I was gonna put in a stack switch here so we can get this to work. Now, first of all, you're gonna check power's off, but don't trust these all that much, because you'll see right here, it's telling me it's hot, right? But I already know this one's off, and we'll show you right now. Here's our white pile, our neutrals, which they ain't got no wire nut on it or nothing. But I like to use this because, you know, it's just, you're not guaranteed that thing's gonna beep at the right time. It's good for referencing. See, that's off. It's off right there. There's nothing glowing on my little tester, and she's off. She's definitely off. I put both my prongs, one on the hot and one on the neutral. It should tell me, and there's nothing there. So that being said, you can see what they did originally is he's just hopping over with this little jumper to heat up this plug right here. And I'm adding a new one in there, so I don't like any of this. I'm just gonna go ahead and see here. I'm gonna take all this out. So that one right there, we know is his switch leg. This one goes up to the switch. That one's the switch leg right here. So let's take this one off. Okay, what we're gonna do is go ahead and cut shit out. No messing around no more. Okay, so this one right here, that one's the switch, and this one is the hot. Right there, okay? This one is our hot wire. Now, this was an old one that I added some lights onto it, but that's not gonna change what I'm doing. So, okay, so this one right here is the other switch, right here. Okay, so I got one switch, another switch, my hot wire, and here's the neutrals. We're just gonna put a wire nut on this. Well, he's got, yeah, some shit going on. No. It's like this. What I'm going to do, because I gotta add in my neutral. Now I have to add this new neutral in with that, okay? And then this will be my third switch right here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, I can get that thing off. Get that off. Okay. Get that off. There's my wire nuts. There. Okay, so now it's old school houses. They didn't have a third bare safety ground. They didn't have one in there, so I really have nothing to do with that other than shove it in the box. Okay. I mean, I can hook it to the metal box, but it's not really gonna do shit because they just don't have, it's not grounding in anywhere. It's not grounding nothing. So here we go. So now I got my neutral. You're gonna be tied in with those. So I just go ahead and cut them about the same length. It's gonna be there. Okay. I'll strip that down. About 3/4 of an inch strip. Okay. And now we're gonna add that to the bundle right there. And we'll just wire nut that real tight. And so maybe, let's check and see that I grabbed good. Yeah, we're all good. We're grabbing nice. What I don't like is some of this wire is not all the way. You can still see a little bit, so I guess we can, I don't know. I could have cut those a little bit shorter so we didn't have them sticking out of the wire nut, but we can just go ahead and do like they did and put a little piece of tape over the rest of it. we'll do first. So when you push them on the box and stuff, nothing makes contact. Okay, so the neutral is done. So now we got our ground wire just pushed back in there. It's not doing nothing. Our neutral wires are done. We'll turn them nicely and shove it back to the back of the box. Okay, now we know that here's a switch, switch, and switch. Okay, this one is the outdoor light. That would be probably the first one they want to hit. So let me grab a white. Since I'm switching over the color with this new white stack switch, we'll go ahead and put this other one with the white one. So now what do I want to do? What I'm going to do here is that's my hot wire. So instead of jumping over like they did, I like to cut myself a little piece of wire. Okay, I cut that in half, and we'll go ahead and steal the black wire out of there. All right, get the black wire stolen. Okay, now it's a little short, so you gotta kind of get in here and strip that wire back. It's the hot wire. I stripped her back. Okay, and what I'm going to do is just strip these two black wires, and so we can feed power to our switches. So we got a wire nut. We'll just go ahead and wire nut those. So I just kind of bend these so where I can get them in there at that same angle. Okay, and I want them about all nice and even right here. Okay, so I just get those all nice and even right here. And I stick that wire nut on there. Make sure you push everything into that wire nut and start spinning it. Okay, we'll get her all turned on real tight until I like to go until I see the wires start to spin on themselves. About like that, okay? Now, I can go ahead and shove this one back in the box. Okay, I got my white shoved back. I can shove my hot wire back. Okay, she's right there. Now we got there. Okay, now we got 2 hots, 3 switches. Let's get our white. What do I do with it now? Come on. I put it down somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we got a regular single pole switch here, single pole. I'll get a 3-way, finish doing a 3-way switch, is single. Okay, now the configuration on these doesn't really matter which way you put hot or the switch on, I don't think. I always keep a pattern of that's on, that's off. So the way I always just keep it is I think of hot to the bottom, and as I turn on, power will run up and turn on the light. So I always just, I'll take this and cut it at a decent length. So I like how I can work with it. Okay, and then we'll strip that down. Okay, and now, so that's a hot wire, one of the hots. That's the exterior light. So we'll go ahead and strip that one. Okay, and on this old switch like this, it didn't have, you gotta curl the end, so I'll just grab this by the tip right here, right at the very tip, and just turn like that. Give myself a little hook. Grab on the end, turn that baby. Okay, now, like I said, I put the hot on the bottom. I don't think this configuration really matters. I put that one down on the bottom, my hot. Okay. And now my switch. And so I'm working this way. So this wire was over here. I just turn it and bend it to where I get it like where I want it, like that. So it's sitting right here. I just hook it on from the back. You want it to hook around this way. So I pull tight, and it's nice and tight around the lug. And just tighten that up where she's nice and tight. Now I'll take this wire, fold it back, okay? Take them both, and a lot of times I'll make like a accordion looking style down and up, so it folds in there nicely, okay? It'll fold back, and I can go ahead and stick this one into the box. You know, a lot of times you might want to, on these old metal boxes, I better do that because it's, what am I doing with my dang tape? There it is. Okay, so these old metal boxes, sometimes you want to tape the lugs because when you're, you know, it's like that game operation. You're trying not to hit the sides with the box or else you'll get a short and make a big old spark and scare yourself and shit. So what a lot of people do with these, the old metal boxes, is you just go around the lugs like this, okay, underneath that wire, or that screw right there, and then you're just going to go around these just once, like that, okay, and that will make sure that you don't, you know, if you hit the side of the box when you're messing around with this thing next time, it doesn't spark and scare somebody. Now I go ahead and set this one in there. And you know, there's the ground wire. The reason I'm not hooking this ground wire up to it is because mine's only one leg going up to the light. It's not connected back to the panel, back to the ground anywhere. So it's not gonna help me to act like it's hooked up. So I'm not doing it. Okay, so there's our other hot right there. This was the switch I added, which was gonna be the game room light over there. And this one is the hallway light. So let's see, in my head, I say we'll put the top one for the hallway, and this will be the game room light, bottom one. Okay, so now we got this stacked switch which has the black lugs. Okay, the black lugs are the hot side, and these are my other switches right here. So it's very simple. We don't have to hook to both the lugs because this little bar right here connects them. If I want to separate the powers, I can break this little piece of metal back and forth. It'll break, and then I separated those two lugs, but we're not doing that today. So once again, I'll cut it. I say approximately. I'll probably keep these about the same. Make them kind of similar here. So we'll just cut these right here. Okay, there's my hot. I'm going to go ahead and strip that down. Okay, that's my hot one. This one right here is my game room, and this one is the hallway. So there we go. And on this one, these little tabs come out on the lugs, so we don't have to make that bend. You just stick it straight in there. Straight in there like that. And that'll cinch her down, and it'll just tighten up. So we don't have to do that. So that's the hot side. So I always do hot side first. You know, hot side, and then I'll flip it. Okay, now I got my hots done. And there's the ground again that we're not using. It doesn't, I mean, the best thing would be to ground this box, but we just don't have a ground wire going back to the panel, so this is not gonna help. Now we got, this one's the hallway light right here, so we'll go ahead and get that back up in there. Get back in there. Okay. And the new added light that I added. It's the game light over there. And that's it. That's all she's. What are you doing, man? You know. Once again, I'm gonna go ahead and put the tape around this one because, like I said, it's gonna be a little hard getting in and out without hitting that. Without hitting anything. Okay. I got my accordion style look with the wires. I can just push it back now, and we'll go this one underneath that screw and over the lugs. Right there, over the lugs, and we'll cut it right here. Go underneath the screw right there and back up. We got a nice little wrap on our lug nuts so we don't hit anything. Now we'll just shove that wire right back outlet back in there. That is an outlet switches, stack switch, and then we can get that one kind of started in there. All right. Tighten her on up, and that's about it. I got okay. Let's go and test it out by turning on our power. See what my power is. It's this 15 ampere right here. Which one are we on? Holy shit, you ain't working, huh? Off right here. Turn that one on. Okay. Aha! Dun, 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 dun. And this one. There she is. Oh, that's it. My third one's going over there. Wire that up later. And matter of fact, see, this one's actually wired on with these two. That one and this one. And so I'm gonna go ahead and leave this switch off because I don't want to send power up there and spark something. I don't know if I got some touching. So this one is now, it's off. And now it's off. That's it. That's how it's done, boys.